One of the main sort of things I try to get across to people that I work with is a bit of a mindset shift. It's starting to view our time in the gym less about exercise, less about weight loss, less about how much I squat, less about building muscle tissue, and more about practicing skills, practicing movements, practicing exercises, so that as I become better and more efficient at those movements, I can add more weight, I can run faster, I can do all these other things that are going to improve our outputs. Every time I step foot in the gym, it's an opportunity to sort of water the garden, so to speak, right? Looking after the way I move so that I feel better, so that as a byproduct of that, I can perform better in whatever arena I want to put myself in. Now, movement efficiency is ultimately about performing a body of work at less cost to the organism, right? Burning less calories, doing the same amount of work. In the running community, this is often referred to as running economy. And ultimately, this is why we perform intervals at faster than sort of race pace, so we can allow our body to become more efficient at overspeed training, so that when we drop down to our race pace, it costs us less. We can perform that pace for longer periods of time. And then the same thing, strength training is a form of movement efficiency, right? If I can do a squat with 2 times body weight, it should be easier for me to rep out higher reps at body weight. And again, in the sort of sprinting community, they call this the sort of speed reserve. These are all things that we want to look at when it comes to the performance aspect. But when it comes to looking after the way we move, movement efficiency encapsulates a lot more than that. Yes, it's going to involve aerobic capacity. Yes, it's going to involve muscular strength, muscular endurance, but it's also going to involve coordination, proprioception, mobility, how well we transition from the ground to standing to into push-ups, out of push-ups. All comes down to practice. We get good at what we practice, and our body adapts to the stimulus imposed upon it. So one of the things that I really like to incorporate into my training week and my training program is little blocks of kind of body weight movement efficiency. So what's running in the background is just a little complex here. We've got strict reverse lunges, push-ups, and crunches. Now, the exercises you use is almost irrelevant, right? Because again, over the course of the weeks, the months, use a variation of this, because you want to become well-rounded and efficient at lots of things, not just one thing. So what I encourage a lot of people to do with these sort of bodyweight stuff is include some variation, include some low-intensive jumps, include some skipping, include some bodyweight movements, because you want to develop this well-rounded organism that is ready for anything. And that comes through practicing that, okay? So yes, the strength component, which I do believe is the mother of all qualities, okay? So that underpins everything. We need to develop strength. That needs to be a thread that weaves itself through all of our training. But then we also need to expand upon that in many different avenues, right? So yes, we want to develop good running efficiency, a good VO2 max, good muscular endurance in sort of barbell and weighted movements. But then we also need to take that into the way we move. So obviously, as I've sort of transitioned to working in more of a fight gym, you know, one of the things that we sort of see is like, if you can move around the ring better, if you can become better at transitioning your weight from right foot to left foot as you're kind of flowing in and out of punches and combinations, then you are going to expend less energy performing the same output, ultimately making you a better athlete. These are little 10-15 minute blocks where the goal isn't necessarily to kill yourself and to burn yourself out, but really to refine the transitions of movement, how well we get in and out of our lunges, how well we get up and down off the ground for our push-ups, how well we can transition between certain exercises. And the goal here is smoother quality movements rather than trying to do more work, if that makes sense. So one of the ways I like to do this is either sort of ladder workouts. So what I'm performing in the background here is obviously I've got 10 on each leg, strict reverse lunge, 10 push-ups, 10 crunches. I then do 9 on each leg, 9 push-ups, 9 crunches, and I just work my way down. There's so many variations that you can do of this, but the main principle is just having a block of work where you can just focus on quality of movement and not trying to rush them, not trying to complete anything as fast as you can, but to be smoother in your execution of the exercises. So hopefully you found that useful. If you have any questions, chuck them in the comments section below. Until